Hi, today's lesson is we're going to take a quadratic equation and write it in the standard form of as a function f of x equals a x minus h raised to the second power plus k. Okay, if you glance over here, trying to get you in over here, hang on one second. Hi guys, today's lesson we're going to take a quadratic equation and we're going to write it in standard form. So if you glance over here, are you glancing right here? How can you miss it, right? The formula f of x equals a x minus h raised to the second power. That's what that 2 is there. I couldn't get an exponent of 2 up there. Plus k. Okay, so when we do this, some of you guys are really struggling with this, and that's what the point of this video is. So hopefully you'll refer back to it when you're doing your homework. But anyway, all right, when we're doing that, we have to have this leading coefficient be a 1. Okay, what we're doing is completing the square method, and then we're going to use the square root to solve it later down the line when we go to graph it. That's 2 different lessons. Okay, I know that excites you, but you got more coming with this. Anyway, okay, so we're going to make that leading coefficient become a 1. So I'm going to pull that 2 out. That enables me to get x squared minus 4x. Now, when we're completing the square, you know I always put that plus blank, but this is going to be something different. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to make a minus blank, and I'll explain why in a minute, parentheses plus 3. Okay, now if you look at this problem, look all around here. There is no equal sign here. There is no equal sign down here. There isn't 2 sides to this problem. And you know, whenever we add something right here, I have to add it to both sides, but I don't have a both sides. So that's why I put this minus over here. I'm going to add it here, subtract it here. And when I add and subtract, it's like it never happened. Okay, and I know what you're thinking. If it never happened, why do it? Because you gotta. Okay, because I said so. All right, so here we go. Let's do this. We're going to take this minus 4, and we're going to take half of that. Okay, so let me change my pen color here because you know that excites me and it makes you see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take half of this negative 4, which is negative 2. Now, I'm going to square that negative 2 and bring it up here. It's completing the square, so it's negative 2 squared becomes a 4. Now, here's the cool part. If I add it, I'm going to take it away. That means I didn't change this problem at all. And that's what it's all about. Okay? You got to keep it all the same. You have no right to change that problem. Okay, so now we're back to where we are. We're going to take that 2. We're going to make a square binomial, which is x squared minus the 2, because that's where we got it from, parentheses, square the whole thing. Now, when I do that step, stay with me on this, that step is only inclusive of that part. Do you see that right here? That's where I have changed and put my parentheses. So I took that minus 4 and I kind of pushed him to the outside. So when I do that minus 4, I have to remember that originally that I had a 2 on the outside of this problem. I can't totally forget about it. This 2 really was included in that original grouping with that negative 4. So when I bumped that negative 4 on the outside, okay, kind of shunned him and put him to the outside, that 2 that was distributing to the whole inside is really staying with that. Okay? Then I'm okay to go back and just, now at this point, I have to put that plus 3. I can't forget about that. Okay? Because that's just coming down from what we had up here. All right, so let's rework this problem. We have 2x, oops, sorry, there should not be an x squared there. Why don't y'all call me on that? Okay, so we have 2 parentheses, x minus 2, then the square, now minus 8 plus 3. Okay, we're ready to call this quits at this point. So I'm going to put everything back in my function notation. F of x, okay, equals 2 parentheses, x minus 2 squared minus 5. And there you have it. It is now truly in that form that we're shooting for. Okay? Now, we're going to use that information to get the vertex of what this quadratic equation would look, where the vertex would be when we go to graph it. Okay? So, this number that's here and here, the number in the H spot and the K spot. If you look up here, I'm going to circle that. those points are making up the vertex. The h is the x value. Okay, so a vertex is an x and y. It's a point on the graph. That's the h, and that's the k from above. All right, so if I'm coming back down to my problem, what's in the h spot is a -2, so it becomes a 2. And what's in that y value, or excuse me, in the k spot is a -5, and I need to put that -5. Okay, are we good on that? Did I lose you guys up here where you see why did I put a +2? If you go back up here into the original formula, okay? Hopefully you see it back up here. I'm pointing up here. Whoops, sorry, arrow the wrong way. Right here. It has a -h. So when I have a -2 here and a -h here up in that formula, that's why this becomes a +2. All right, notice the k part of this formula up here, it's a +2, but down here I have a -5. So that means that this had to be a -5. Okay, let's go to the next one and try one where you don't have to pull out a leading coefficient, okay? Hang tight. Okay, now our second problem, all right? This is in regular function form, ax squared plus bx plus 1, okay? I have no leading coefficient up here other than that 1. There's no number. So this one's kind of an easier one, much easier than the first one we started with. Okay, so I'm going to take the x squared, of course, plus 3x, okay, we're doing completing the square, plus my blank, okay, here's the funky new step, minus a blank, okay, I'm going to keep all that together, then we'll put that +1 over here. It's getting pushed off to the side. Okay, now when I'm completing the square, I take half of the middle term. So half of this, no decimals, keep it in fraction form, is 3/2. All right, I'm going to square that. So 3/2 times 3/2 is 9 all over 4. Now, I don't have an equal sign to put plus 9/4 on the other side. There's nothing at the end of either end of this problem. So I've changed the problem by adding something, so now I'm just going to turn around and take it away. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now I have to go back to this problem and I have to make my square binomial. And my square binomial consists of these two pieces. Okay? All right, so we have x squared. Uh-oh. Oh, I am so sorry. That's kind of cool. Sneezing during the video. Awesome. Oh, why do people sneeze 3 times? I never know. Okay, so we have, I did it again. I keep putting that square in there. Okay, let's try this again. X plus, there's that 3/2, parentheses, square it. Okay, now that square binomial only goes up to where I put the blue parentheses. I put that minus 9/4 to the outside, and that's okay. And I don't have to change that at all because remember, there was no number in the front of this problem. So there's no number that I pulled out here and no number here that's going to go over here with this. Okay? All right, so that's what makes this one the easier one. Now, here's the only thing that might be a little bit different. Where I'm adding that 1, whoop, I really didn't want to put that arrow there. Let me see if I can turn around and change that here. I guess I can. All right, when I take that 1 that's here, when I put it down here, I'm going to write that as a 4/4, okay? Because of that not negative 9/4, so they can work together real easy. Okay, so here we go. We have x plus 3 divided by 2, 3/2 squared, and negative 9/4 plus a 4/4 is just a minus 5/4. Okay, so let's put this nice and pretty back in function notation because this is a function. We have f of x equals parentheses x plus 3/2 squared minus 5/4. Okay, so now from way up top here, let's do a big long arrow. I love these effects that I can put on here. It's like playing with a toy. Okay, so here we go. We know that the vertex is made up of the h and the k from that formula above. So now I know that my vertex point is, I have my parentheses because it's an ordered pair, it's a point. If it's a plus 3 over 2, do you see that here? All right, but in my formula up top, right here, it's a minus h. So if it's a plus 3 over 2 down here, that means that that point has to be a negative 3, 2. Parentheses, and then I have a minus h down here, or excuse me, a plus k. What am I talking about? Plus k over here. And because it's negative down here in my actual problem, then my y value is a negative 5/4. And that is my vertex. Okay, hopefully this is going to help you with your homework. And for both days, both for the period 4 and the period 8 class, okay? All right, that's all I got to tell you today, and go get your homework done. See you next class. Bye.